Good day everyone. This video is educational purposes only. We are allowing to my beloved instructor Mr. Roldan Ardinis. Our topic is all about global food security.
Global food security refers to the condition in which all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. It encompasses all aspects of food availability, access, utilization, and stability, and is a crucial component of achieving sustainable development and poverty reduction. Food security is influenced by various factors including agricultural productivity, climate change, economic development, trade policies, and food distribution system, and access to resources such as land, water, and technology. Achieving global food security also involves addressing issues of food waste, food safety, and the nutritional value of food.
What is the importance of global food security? Global food security is crucial because it ensures that all people have access to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food. It is important for human survival, hunger, and malnutrition, promoting social and economic stability, achievement, sustained development, maintaining global stability and peace, conserving the environment, and building resilience to shock and crisis. Ensuring food security is essential for the well-being and prosperity of individual communities and the world as a whole.
Can impact agricultural production, similarly disruption in processing facilities, storage capacity, or packaging. Materials can affect the processing or distribution of food. So, 5 examples. Market disruption, change in consumer behavior, panic buying, and hoarding can lead in imbalances in supply-demand, causing prices spikes, shortage. Additionally, disruption in the food service industries such as restaurant and hotel can result reduced demand for certain food production. To mitigate the impact of supply chain disruption on the food security, governments, organizations, and stakeholders can take various measures. First, strengthening resilience. Building a resilient food system that can withstand shock and disruption in a crucial. This can involve diversifying supply sources, promoting local foods, production, and investing in infrastructure and technology to improve efficiency. So ensuring access to inputs. So ensuring access is ability for accessibility to agricultural inputs such as seeds, fertilizers, machinery, and essential for maintaining agricultural productivity. So supporting farmers and workers, providing financial supports, access to credit, and social protection measures can help farmers and workers cope with the impact of this disruption and maintain their livelihoods. Strengthening coordination and communication. Effective coordination and communication among stakeholders, including government agencies, producers, processors, distributors, and consumers, are crucial for managing supply chain disruption and ensuring food security. By addressing these factors and implementing appropriate measures, it is possible to mitigate the impact of supply chains disruption on food security and ensure more resilient and sustainable food system. So, second example. First, income employment loss. So, many business face closure, reduced operation, or financial constraints during the pandemic, resulting in widespread job losses. So, the, the service, hospitality, travel industry were particularly hard hit due to lockdown and restriction. Governments worldwide implemented various measures such as stimulus package and employment benefits and retention schemes to mitigate the impact of individual business. So the last example, small-scale farmers have been a particular vulnerable during pandemic due to various factors. Here are some key points to consider. So market disruption. Small-scale farmers heavily rely local markets, restaurants, and direct sales to consumers. The pandemic led to disruption in this channel due to lockdowns, reduced demand, and supply chains challenges. Farmers faced to difficulties selling their produce, resulting in financial losses. So, limited access to resources. Small-scale farmers often have limited access to resources such as credit, input, seeds, fertilizers, and technologies. The pandemic further restricted their ability to access their resources, hindering their productivity and resilience. So, labor shortage. Small-scale farmers often rely access on migrant labor for planting, harvesting, and other farm activities. Travel restriction and labor shortage during the pandemic made it challenge to find employed workers impacting from operation. So lack of financial safety needs like larger agricultural enterprises, small-scale farmers often lack financial safety needs or insurance coverage. This make them vulnerable to income shocks and economic downturns as they may not have sufficient savings or access to credit to cope with the crisis. So, efforts to support small-scale farmers during the pandemic have included government assistance programs, financial supports, access, inputs and technology, capacity building and initiatives, collaboration with local organizations. NGOs and farmers cooperative have also played crucial role providing supports, creating resilience, farming and communities. It is important to recognize significance of small-scale farmers to ensuring food security and sustainable agriculture. Supporting their resilience and addressing their vulnerability is a crucial for building a more building a building a more inclusive and sustainable food system. Global food security is influenced by various factors including agricultural productivity, climate change, population growth, economic condition, trade policies, and access to resources. Examining the state of the Philippines in terms of food security during the pandemic, we can consider the following factors. First, agricultural productivity. The Philippines has a significant agricultural sector contributing the food production. However, this disruption caused by the pandemic, such as labor shortage and supply chain disruption, have affected agricultural productivity. Climate change. Two, climate change. The Philippines is vulnerable to climate change impacts, including extreme weather, events like typhoons, droughts. This event can damage crops, reduce yields, and impact food availability. Third example, population growth. The Philippines has a rapidly growing population which increase the demand of food. Demand for food meeting the food needs of a growing population requires sustainable agriculture practices and efficient distribution system. Economic conditions. The pandemic has adverse effect on the Philippine economic leading to job losses and income reduction. This can result in decreased purchasing power and limited access to food for vulnerable population. Number 5, trade policies. Trade policies and restriction can affect the ability and affordability of food during the pandemic. Disruption in global supply chains and trade restriction have impacted the importation of food items, potentially affecting the food security. Number 6, access to resource, access to land, water, other resources is a crucial for agriculture production in the Philippines. Issues such as land, tenure, water, scarcity, and limited access to credit can affect the productivity and resilience of agricultural sectors. The state of food security in the Philippines during the pandemic has been challenging. The disruption caused by lockdowns and restrictions have affected agricultural activities, leading to reduced production and income for farmers. Additionally, the loss of jobs and income for many households has resulted in increased food insecurity, particularly among vulnerable populations. Effort have been made by the government and various organizations to address this challenge. This include providing financial assistance to farmers, implementing programs to enhance agricultural activity, promoting urban gardening, and establishing food banks to support those in need. However, ongoing efforts are required to ensure food security for all Filipinos, especially during times of crisis. Here's another example. The dis- First, the disruption of the food supply the chain can have significant implications for food security. A well-functioning supply chains is crucial for ensuring the food produced, processed, distributed, and made by available to consumer in a timely and efficient manner. When disruption occur, it can lead to food shortage, price volatility, and limited access to nutritious foods. There are several factors can disruption the food supply chain. First, transportation disruption. So restriction of the movement, borders, closure, and reduced transportation capacity can hinder the movement of food from farms to markets. This can result in delays, spoilage of perishable goods, and limited availability of food in certain areas. So, second, labor shortage. The availability of labor is essential for agricultural production, processing, and distribution during a pandemic or crisis. Labor shortage can occur due to illness, movement restriction, of fear infections. This can impact the timely harvesting, processing, and delivery of food. So, third example, third, trade restriction, imposition of trade barriers, export bans, or import restriction can disrupt the flow of food across borders. This can affect both the availability and affordability of
Interventions to address food security concern during the COVID-19 pandemic. Initiatives included financial support to farmers, subsidies for agricultural inputs, and provision of assistance to vulnerable households. The goal was to ensure the continuity of agricultural activities, support farmers' livelihood, and maintain a stable food supply. However, challenges such as limited resources, logistical constraints, and the need for rapid response in reaching affected areas posed hurdles to the effectiveness of this intervention. Importance of local food production. The pandemic underscored the critical importance of local food production in the Philippines. With disruptions in global supply chain and transportation restriction, the country faced challenges in importing certain food items. This emphasized the need for self-sufficiency and the promotion of domestic agriculture. Supporting local farmers and ensuring resilience of the local food production system became paramount for maintaining food security, reducing vulnerabilities to external shocks, and fostering economic development within the country.
What are the 5 components of food security? Number 1, availability. This component ensures that there is a sufficient quantity of food in the market or within a region to meet the needs of population. Number 2, access. It involves both economic and physical access to food. People should be able to afford the physical reach the available food sources. Number 3, utilization. This pertains to the nutritional quality and safety of the food. It emphasizes that the available food should be nutritious and safe consumption. Number 4, stability. Stability in the context of food security refers to the reliability of the food supply over time. It means that food availability should not be highly variable or subject to sudden disruptions. Lastly, the agency. This component focuses on individual or community empowerment. People, people should have the ability to make choices that the food they consume and have the control over their own food security rather than being entirely dependent on external factors.
Stability, reliability of the food supply. Reliability of the food are very important to ensure a safety and clean goods being served without the risk of being contaminated. Agency, individual ability to make choice and have control over food security. By doing food production increase, it is a big help by reducing waste and a wise idea of balancing healthy lifestyle.
What are the threats to global food security? Climate change, rising temperatures, changing rainfall patterns, and extreme weather even can negatively impact crop yields and livestock production, leading to food shortage and price volatility. Water scarcity, limited access to clean water, or immigration of agricultural purposes can hinder crop production and limit food availability. Land degradation, soil erosion, deforestation, and urbanization can reduce arable land, affecting agriculture productivity in food production.
Pests and diseases. Outbreaks of pests, diseases, and invasive species can devastate crops and livestock, leading to significant losses in food production. Conflict and stability. Political conflict, war, and social unrest can disrupt food production, distribution, and access, exacerbating food insecurity in affected regions. Poverty and inequality. Limited access to resources, education, and healthcare can perpetuate poverty and inequality, making it difficult for vulnerable populations to afford or access nutritious foods.
Is food security possible? Yes, achieving food security is possible through a combination of sustainable agricultural practices, technological innovations, international cooperations, climate resilience, reduced food waste, community empowerment, research and education, and supportive conflicts. Challenge concerted efforts addressing these aspects can contribute significantly to ensuring a stable and sufficient food supply for the global populations.